Do we really know how powerful we are? Collectively and individually. I would love to come on here and tell you how difficult it was for me to make this video, how many interferences happened, how a computer was broken, how a car drove up and was fucking with the Wi-Fi. For sure. I'd love to tell you about different initiation processes, we'll call them, that I've gone through to come to some of the understandings that I've come to in my experience. But I can't do that because that would be coming from my ego. And what I've learned on my journey is that you have to learn how to transmute all that, because at the end of the day, we all have our own individual experiences and our own individual initiation processes in this life. It's like a game. And it's all your game, and everybody's just a player. And for me to come here and just project my experience onto you, I mean, I do share. I share my evolving to a very small audience. And that's just my own personal experience, but it's not me telling you what I've gone through specifically, because that might affect, here comes another car, might affect your reality and your experience. I wouldn't want to tell you of all the boogeymen because, I wouldn't say that you would have to meet any of those on your path in order to gain understanding, So as far as like these wars that go on, I don't tune into television. I haven't owned one personally in 10 years. Sometimes they be where I'm at, and I just try to stay away from those portals as much as possible. As a matter of fact, I cover them if I can, because they are portals. But yeah, these wars that go on in this reality, it takes you and your energy to make these things happen. This is why, the television is so important to the powers that be, because this is how they get your attention, and this is how they get your energies rising. And when you don't tune into the television, there are other ways that this is orchestrated in even the conscious community. Little plays that happen in order to get key archetypes going, in order to make these big things happen in the experience. But it takes you going back to 0 point and reminding yourself that this is all you, and take full responsibility for this experience and all that's happening in it. And the way that I would like to share with my fellow brothers and sisters, human beings, on this, reflections of me. Reflections, like when I look at somebody now in my experience, I see myself, we're all connected. But creativity, we're cut off from it. They don't have it in most public schools anymore. Luckily, I grew up in that environment, but because of many traumatic experiences in my childhood, I was cut off from that. Like most of us, we were cut off from creativity. But I burst through me creativity again, and I was able to tap back into that. My child's very creative, and I'm thankful to be able to do so. I use this creativity to transmute energies. I use this creativity to direct energies. I know all this power is within me, and my ancestors and your ancestors, all ancestors, all around the world have used, except for America. We seem to lose these things here, but use tools like what I've been tapping into lately is hand drum. I've used this to correct some issues that were going on with my heart chakra going into 2020, and manage that, because we as empaths do transmute other people's energies, planetary energies, like all kinds of stuff. And I've also, obviously dance. I like to channel and go into trance when using both of these tools. And I highly recommend. I mean, I had my awakening through fasting. And I'm thankful, because I also have done ayahuasca twice in my life, and Mother Ayahuasca told me that I didn't need to use this other tool to tap into these experiences, because I had that within me, and I was carried into the experience for 4 extra hours than I should have been. and I did this in a church environment. It was a Brazilian Santo Daime church, and after leaving, everyone was confused because I was still in in the experience. And I didn't listen because I'm human. And I was able to see, and everything's a lesson, I'm thankful, kind of, able to see what happens when you don't follow your intuition. And so I did it again, and I saw that there are portals that can be opened. And I was met with the 7 energies that interfere in this reality. So if you're doing these things, whatever people do to awaken through substance, DMT, acid, or whatever, even you are aligning, you are opening yourself up to negative influence. You become a portal yourself for these energies that wreak havoc on this world. But it's all us anyway. It's all you. This world is you. The God is you. And when you awaken to this, you are more responsible because you become that archetype. Like I can say that I am the planet, and that if I were to come on here upset because maybe I was fragile because, these outside energies were, antagonistic against me because they are trying to create wars in this reality, and I came on here angry and projected that out, I know my power, and so what I'd be doing is I would be sounding the alarm for war, which I'll never do. I choose to heal. I choose to uplift humanity on whatever scale it may look like. I know energetically just my state of being is changing my reality, and you can change your reality too. These things don't need to happen, and it's not going to take a different president or countries to align or anything like that. It takes you coming to this full understanding. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and tools that I like to use, like my voice and things like that, and hand drums and dancing and things that you can use, mudras, to shift energies. And it never has to be outside of you. People make the mistake, I guess there's this other thing happening on the planet where it's like propaganda of like magic outside of oneself, witchcraft, things like that. I remember when I was like 13 years old, I had a friend that was dabbling in those arts, and I was reading some books, and all I did was bring chaos into my experience. And by way of fire, that was another story in itself. But I'd never do that again. I believe that the magic and the power is within you. And if you are directing any kind of negative energy at anybody, you can expect that chaos to just come straight back to you, because you should only project love. I'm at a place where that's all that I'm projecting, no matter what I've been through, and that's just been me. I'm not Miss Goody Two Shoes. I'm not saying that I've always been even nice with my words, but I've learned over the years that that's more important than projecting any kind of like negative tones and frequencies from my being. So yeah, I'm sending so much unconditional love always. And Capricorn season, I'm gonna take my energy because I know who I am, and I'm so excited, and I'm gonna use this to transmute whatever this garbage is out here, this energy of war, and I'm going to flip it. I think I will, fast, and I'd highly recommend it. So look for me sharing positive ways to transmute this energy, sending so much unconditional love.